Welcome to Mental Perspectives, episode 6. Today we're talking about crisis and coping. And my guest is Mario83 again, who you might already know from the first episode, but feel free to introduce yourself again for people that might not know you yet.
Yeah. Hello, my name is Mario. And if you already guessed from my birthday, I'm 38 years old. And I'm an UX designer in an insurance company in Germany. And yeah, part-time streamer. And this is the part where I met Devo, and he came up with the idea to make a podcast. So I was happy that I'm able to join in, and it's the second episode for me with him. And yeah, I'm a little bit excited where we get today, because normally when we start talking, we get a lot of topics we are talking about. So I'm interested where we land today.
Yeah, we usually end up in completely different parts as where we started. So yeah, the general topic for today is just like the topic of crisis, life crisis, and how to cope with that. And I think for many people, like their first crisis is usually the first love that they lost.
Yeah.
Do you happen to have a story about that?
I think, as nearly everybody, I fell in love with my best girlfriend when I was like 12 or 13 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it happens to everybody, but it happens to me 2 times, 2 or 3 years later again. And both of these unfulfilled love moments were really hard to handle for me.
Okay.
But I think in your younger ages, it's easier to handle it because you think you're totally in love. You will never find a person like this again, and 2 weeks later, it's forgotten.
Yeah.
But those 2 weeks are the hardest weeks of your life until then.
I think it's an important lesson that you learn there, and I think it's kind of important to have that experience at some point, where you feel like where you realize that emotion is always valid, but it's not an oracle.
And I was not very honest. The very first unfulfilled love I had was with a comic figure.
Oh.
When I was younger. I don't know if you know Mila Superstar.
I do, actually, yes.
Yeah, I fell in love with Mila Superstar, and it was not understandable for me why it wasn't possible for her to go with me to school, have a talk, have a chat, play around. I don't get it. So I was, I think, already crying for 2 weeks. I was so in love, and I already saw her on the TV. I mean, she was so near but so far away. And
holy shit, that's interesting. How old were you when that happened?
Oh, I think 7 or 8 years. Or 9, I don't know. I have to figure out which age. My grandfather recorded every series for me. So like the Slurps. Is it in English? Schlümpfe?
Smurfs.
Smurfs. What's Slurps? I don't know. Smurfs.
I don't know either.
And also Mila Superstar. And I think it was under 10, for sure.
Okay, so very young.
Yeah, very young. Yeah, and yeah. It was really hard for me.
I can't imagine. I think for me it was similar. I also had like this childhood girlfriend, friend girl that I guess I was in love, but at some point she moved away because her parents had to move away, and I even tried to visit her at the new place, which was like a 2-hour drive, and it was really weird because we spent so much time together. And all of a sudden, like she didn't really have time for me, even though I just drove 2 hours to see her, and that's why I realized that I might just had a wrong perception of the whole thing. I was also very young at that point, and yeah.
I think it's very interesting when you find somebody. I have another story. My last holiday with my mother in Greece. Well, the last time I went there, and I met a girl from Holland. Her name was Danielle. I remember it until today. And we only met there for 3 weeks. I think we met us in the second week. And for me, it was like, boom. This is she. I will never met a better girl. It was really intense time, and we made plans. Distance is no problem. It's like Holland, Germany, and Berlin. It is a distance.
Yeah, sure.
For when you even not old enough to have a driving license.
Yeah.
and we were making plans, and we will write us, we will talk to each other every day, and so on. And I was literally crying the whole flight back to home. It was really heartbreaking, but it was the same. 1 or 2 weeks later, not everything was forgotten, but we realized, okay, the distance is an issue. It's really difficult for us to deal with it. And yeah, but I think we have last contact we had 2 or 3 years in the past, and it was when she was in Berlin. It was no, it's longer ago. I think it's 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And we were writing. She said, "Well, I'm in Berlin," and we met again. And yeah, like friends, you know. And we're talking about those times in Greece, and we were both laughing at it. Now she has a family, 2 kids, and so on. But it's interesting how you how different feels love in different ages.
Absolutely. It is definitely different.
It's another topic right now. It's not a crisis topic; it's a love topic. But
I mean, I think of this podcast as just an evolving talk, and if the talk evolves to different topics, that's 100% fine.
Yeah.
So interestingly enough, that first love of mine was still like I had a couple other relationships afterwards, but most of them ended in a consensual way, which I think is uncommon. That like both parties decide at the same time that this is not having a good effect for anyone.
Right from the beginning or during?
Like after a month or something, we decided this is not going to work for me and not going to work for you, because like the things you want I'm not willing to give, and the things I want you're not willing to give, and we might just call it end here.
Is it so uncommon? I don't know. I mean, I also have some good relationships to my, how do you call it, ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Because I think it depends on how long you stay together.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, if you stay a month together with a person, you realize, okay, this will not get into a good end. It's only a month. It's like you met a human being for a month, and that's it. But if you're together for like, in my case, for 3, 4, 5 years, usually it's so that you, beside the love, you respect the person. And even if the love ends, there's still the person you respect. And that's the reason for me why I always try to get on a different, how do you call it, separated. In a good way, and maybe still have contact. I mean, it's normal that the contact gets less over the time.
Sure.
But it's important for me because this person has a really big part in my life for a long time.
Yeah.
And yeah, normally I only have like relationships. My last relationships, every one of them was like 5 or 6 or 7 years. Only the first one was an instant cutoff because. But it was not the fault of the person. It was my life changing total. That was the reason why I made a cut, and I never saw the person again. It was really hard, but crisis. After 7 years to decide, I will leave my hometown and I will leave my old life, and left everything behind me from one to another day.
Yeah, there was when I was like on the verge of going to college, like the last year, and I already knew I will go away for college. I will not stay close to my hometown. I want to see other parts of the world. I mean, for me, it was Austria. It wasn't the world, but it was a different country. It was a 3-hour drive or something. So not really smart to have a relationship with a person that's living in my old hometown while moving away. So there was also a couple like potential relationships that I did not pursue in that moment, and just like said, no, sorry, I'm not interested at the moment. So I get that. If you like change your life and want to change things,
sometimes it's really unfair for the other part in the relationship.
Yeah.
It's a really, really, really hard decision you have to make, and it's not, life's not fair every time in every moment.
It never is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it never is, but in this special moment when you decide you want to live your life, never mind what is on your left or your right side, then this is it's most of the time an unfair moment for everybody else.
I'm not sure if it's unfair or if that just is like a factor where you need to just respect the other person having their own dreams to pursue.
I mean, an interesting question would be: is it egoistic?
Egoistic is an interesting word for that, because I would rather say it is egoistic of the other person to think that you would abandon your life dreams just to stay with them. Especially like if it's in the teenage years, where like, I mean, you fall in love in like 2 weeks and you fall out of love in 2 weeks as a teenager. It's right.
Yeah, as a teenager, for sure. But
if you're like 30 something, I would agree that it's a different situation.
I think it depends on the. I mean, in my situation, it was possible to handle the situation the way I handled it.
Mm.
But imagine the situation would be another one: 2 kids, a house.
That's different.
Family, and then I decide on Monday, on Tuesday, I will have a different life. Goodbye, everybody.
Well, that's egoistical, obviously, but mostly because of the kids, I would say. Well, I mean, it is like if you leave someone with like house and everything, you live together for like 8 years, I would say it's still egoistical to just say, fuck, I have a midlife crisis, I need to buy a motorbike and drive to England or something. But in general, like the moment you have kids, you have a responsibility that you haven't had before.
Yeah, for sure. But this responsibility is not glued to the relationship with the other person.
True.
I mean, so it should be possible to end a relationship and also deal with your responsibilities for the kids.
Absolutely, yes, and it also happens quite a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it is always important, and I think that's like one of the main topics of family therapy. If people actually decide to not stay together despite having kids, or despite sounds like a negative connotation. I don't want to have it like sound like that, but like it is important that you respect the other part as a parent. You don't need to be together. You don't need to, I don't know, share the bed and live together. But respect themselves. The other part as a parent is like the important part of it, and be there for the kids.
Interesting part is we are talking about for 18 minutes and nothing about crisis.
Well, it is crisis. Like this is also a crisis, right? If you like realize that you're not happy with your current life and you need to get away and you need to do something completely different, that's an absolute crisis.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. When was your last one? When was the last moment in your life where you should say, I had a crisis?
The last crisis was roughly 2 years ago. I would say a bit more, maybe a bit less. 1.5, I guess.
Corona start?
Yeah, Corona start.
Okay.
Because I started to have the short term working, where I only needed to work 50%. And I realized that I'm living from weekend to weekend. And I was like, damn, boy, I'm fucking 28 years old at that time, or 27. And I'm already living from weekend to weekend, not enjoying what I do every day. This is a bit young to be in that mode. And sure. I felt in a pretty deep crisis because I also felt a lot of loyalty to the company that I was working for. Like I felt like these people need me. I have like a lot of knowledge that is absolutely necessary for the company. Also realized that I was the only person in short-term work out of my team. The others were like 100, were gone completely, like 100%. So it was a crisis because I felt like, okay, these people need me, but I don't enjoy what I'm doing anymore, and nothing is like there's no progress, and I don't know, I'm stuck. And then I decided to abandon everything and move away. But I like my girlfriend came with me, so that was good.
not everything.
Not everything. No, just everything job related.
So the decision you made were just make a cut.
Exactly. In the end, like we had some talks to find out.
How did you get to that point?
Well, also that like I had some talks with the company to find out if we could make something work. But it wasn't like it didn't end up to a thing that I was happy with. So.
And do you think it was the life-changing Corona thing that happened to everybody of us, or do you think you would have get there also without the Corona issue, the home office part, and so on?
I think I would have gotten there without Corona too. It would have taken longer though. Because if you're going to work every day for like, no, not every day, every week for like 50 to 60 hours, because a full-time job is rarely 40 hours, we all know that, you don't really have time to think about your life. And then it's the weekend, and on the weekend you want to chill a bit, and you just, I don't know, do some things, go to the market, watch some movies, like, I don't know, stream, play games, and you still don't get into that introspection part of your life where you like think about, is there a change necessary?
Yeah.
So I think Corona made it faster.
Yeah, I think so too. For a lot of people I know, I think the Corona time changed a lot. I was talking to friends of mine who were consultants for like 2, 3, 5 years, like working their ass off. And we're not talking about 40-hour weeks. We are talking about 50, 60-hour weeks for a huge amount of money. So some of those dudes earn they were yearly salary over 100K.
Yeah,
130, 140K. I mean, they're selling their souls, and I think it's literally that. I mean, if you work 60 hours a week, without being at home, what is for most of the consultants in the past the normal working agreement, it's called 4+1.
Yeah.
4 days a week in a hotel, 1 day in the office. And I also had the opportunity before Corona to do some kind of work like that.
Yeah.
And I was also highly focused on my career.
Yeah.
And I was also talking to them, and some of those dudes quit. They quit the job they were working for like the last 4 or 5 years to get in this position, to earn that amount of money. And they realized, while I work, life's happening. And they also had a rough process to get through to realize the how do I say Ziele, I don't get the word right now.
The goals.
The goals, yeah, thank you.
Or the KPIs.
The goals, maybe to say in their words, the KPIs they were aiming for the last years are not the right ones, and it's really rough to realize it and to have the ability to live with it, to say, okay, I spent 4 or 5 years of my career, and now I realize this was wrong, and it's really hard.
Absolutely. So I think like in every work scenario, you need a bit of an exit strategy, unless you really, really love what you do. And I mean, that's obviously the best thing that can happen to you, that you work as something that you absolutely love to do. Where you, like, if you had free time, you would do nothing else than what you do at work.
Does this depend on the thing you do, or does this depend on for who do you do it?
I think it would also depend on the thing that you do. It's not just for whom you do it, because I really I liked the company I worked with, and I had like a lot of loyalty. I had like some personal contact also to the boss and all that. Like I really liked these people, but after all, like I made a list of all the things that I enjoy in life, and I made a list of all the things that I don't enjoy in life, and then I looked at the list, and then I looked at my job, and I was like, fuck, this is not lining up at all, and I was like somewhere between burnout and bore out. So that was, a really weird spot to be in. So I would say it's not only for whom you do it, it's also important what you do.
And on which, where are you right now? Is the process finished, or?
I wouldn't say the process is finished. Like, as you might know, I'm self-employed, but things are not working overly great. So the process would be finished if I'm self-employed and things are working great. And like, I don't know, I assume like being a full-time streamer would be the dream currently, being like the thing that I would enjoy most, because like I've been full-time streaming basically since a year now, a bit longer. And there wasn't a single day where I felt like, fuck dude, I don't feel like streaming. Like every time I boot up Stream, I feel like, yeah, man, this is exactly what I want to do. This is great.
Okay. Yeah, I went through I mean, we know each other for only a short time, but I think we had some really deep talks right now already. And it's also no secret that I went to a nearly same process. I'm still in my work where I worked the last 4 years for the same company. And also Corona changed a lot for me. I mean, it's no secret. I also told it in my stream, so I can say it here too. I also had some kind of depressions, and I don't know where they came from. I had no clue where they came from, and so I listen to what you say because I can identify with until now nearly every single word, and the problem I have right now is I started the process of changing, so I give up every responsibility I had in my job. I was fighting for those responsibilities the last 2 or 3 years. I really was fighting for them. I built up a UX team in my company, and because it was really important for the company, and I thought it felt for me totally right at this time. And when Corona starts, I thought, okay, it's easy. For the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was sitting in my kitchen. I can handle this. It's easy. 2 or 3 weeks. Come on, man. After 4 or 5 weeks, I said, okay, it's getting a bit rougher, but come on, you're strong. After 2 or 3 months, I thought, okay, maybe I have to think about to change my working place because working in the kitchen is maybe not that good for your mood. I mean, you're near to the coffee machine, but that's it. And after half a year and everything went crazy, we knew that. We all saw the news at that time. I started thinking about home office, and it was killing me because everybody who knows me, I'm a person who goes out. I'm a extroverted. Is it the right? Totally extroverted, and my whole job was about networking, meeting people, bringing people together, and being creative, thinking about ideas. And it stopped everything. Everything was planned from that second on because it's not possible to have suddenly meet somebody on Skype if you don't have a meeting. But it's possible when you went through the floors at your work. So, hey, you're also here. Hi there. I want to go for a coffee. And all of that stopped. So I have to repositioning myself, and I did it. And that's also part why I started streaming, because I was searching for something where I can be extroverted again and something where I can totally be myself and where I can build up something for myself. Everything I did before was for the company. I mean, I love my job. I love the UX part and the creative part, but I never did something totally for me. It was because I had a project. It was because somebody said to me, do this or that. And that's why I love streaming. But the problem right now is I have 2 questions. The first question is, Corona changed me, and I think it would have happened anyway. Maybe it would have taken some more time, but I'm not sure if I would have changed myself to this that I am right now without Corona. I've changed for sure. But until now, I did a lot to change my mood, but I think everything feels more heavy right now. Every decision I make feels more heavy. I was such a happy person before that, and now every decision feels so heavy, and I don't know how to get out of that. So this is something I'm really dealing right now with it. So I've got a coaching right now, private coaching. I'm going to a psychologist, and we're really working on it, and it's getting better each day. But the question is every time, is it the right decision to quit the job maybe right now? Is it the right decision to go that way right now? And that's hard. And that's the reason why I was asking at which point you are right now, because maybe I can copy your way. It's really interesting. So how do you make decisions if it's right or wrong?
Well, so basically I have this way of living my life where usually if something feels right, it will work out eventually. Like that worked my entire life. Like I came out of school, was like finished with school, and I didn't like take care of anything. So I was just living my day, enjoyed not being in school, playing video games for like 12 hours a day or something. And all of a sudden I met a person that told me that you can like work for the Red Cross for a year. And then I was like, hey, that's cool. So I went to the Red Cross, said, hey, can I work for you for a year? And they said yes, and that's how I became a paramedic for like a year. And after that, I had like to make a decision if I want to continue on that path or if I want to go to college. And then I looked around, and there was an opportunity to study psychology. I mean, I wanted to study psychology. There was like a couple options, but psychology was always the favorite one. And there was an opportunity to do it, so I went there and did it. So there was always some kind of path that showed itself to me, and then I went on that path, and it usually was a good choice afterwards. And after all, I'm trying to overvalue my own mental health over like my financial health or something. Because after all, like if I'm completely burned out, I will not be able to earn money anyways, and I'll probably have a more shitty life. So I'll go with the decision that feels like it's more healthy for me, and I'm sure something will eventually work out. And if not, then I have a plan B.
Oh, a lot of questions in my head right now. Okay, the first one, I think it depends a lot how you make decisions. It depends a lot on how your parenthood was. So if everybody says to you, go your way and make decisions, everything will be right. Or if you have a parenthood where they say you have to stay safe, you need to get a job where you get a salary every month, and be happy with it, and be thankful, and don't quit your job. And I think we talked about it on Discord already. I think it's also something that differs from country to country. And in America, you have a totally startup mentality.
Yeah.
The kids are right, like you have to build a company and trust in yourself. You can do it. And in Germany, it's totally different. The other side. It's really sad sometimes, because that's also the reason why the startup mentality in Germany is so small. And we have some 1, 2, or 3 really big startups or big companies where they play a role in the world, but it's only such a small part.
Yeah.
And the other part, as you said, you I don't know if I get the words right. You're positioning your mental health over your money health, or
financial health.
Financial health. Yeah, thank you. I think there is a connection.
Yeah.
I think it is. You can do it like that, but at some point, your financial health also have a effect on your mental health, because if you
I would agree.
Too little money, is little right word?
Yeah.
You don't feel good, because then you have to think about how do I get my food? How do I pay my rent? How do I pay my car?
You're absolutely correct. And it does take a toll to have like this slightly existential fear of not getting enough money. But like the thing is, I need very, very few things to live a happy life. Like I have super low standards. Like I'm okay with a small apartment somewhere in the outskirts. Like we have a very good social security system in Germany. If you're not trying to live in the biggest cities, even the money you like get from that is absolutely enough to live. It really depends where you live, though. The cost of living varies a lot, and the money you get from the social security system does not vary, which makes it a lot of money in some places and very little money in other places. Like let alone electricity cost and all that varies from like 50 euros a month to 200 euros a month for the same amount of electricity, which obviously is a big issue if you only have like the money the social security system gives you. On the other side, I thought like I have good education. I will find a job eventually. Like if I really need to find a job, I will find one, because like the social sector lacks experienced workers like the IT sector. It's comparable. So I thought like I always have that way out. I always can work in the social sector again. That's not an issue. And that's my plan B, basically. If things don't work out for me, I look for something part-time, 20 hours a week, work in the social sector again, get some money in, and continue on this dream until I finally have to either accept that it didn't work and I need to do something completely different, or I find out it works and everything's fine.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about a solution like that, and it's the first time I say it on stream. But yeah, also I had some really tough discussions also with my coachee and my psychologist, because now I'm in a situation like I have a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I have responsibilities at my full-time job.
Yeah.
And I built up something on Twitch in a really short time, which was for me totally overwhelming.
Yeah.
The community is overwhelming, and the feedback is overwhelming. And I'm really interested in how far can I take it.
Mm.
And not only on Twitch. I mean, Twitch is only one part of it. There's a whole bunch of things around it where I have ideas what I can make out of it. Like you with your podcast.
Yeah.
It's Twitch is the start. And there's a whole bunch of opportunities around it, where you can realize yourself, where you can put creativity into it and maybe get money out of it to live from it.
Yeah.
And yeah, now I'm in this, I don't know if there's the English PUT situation, it's the same as in full-time job, a lot of possibilities where I can realize myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, now it's time for the next step. And I'm really with myself. I never talked with my parents until now about that, because I know what they will say.
Can you go back half a minute? There was a cut in the internet connection.
Oh,
I think, or something.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I see you. I have your stream open.
It's not.
So, yeah.
It's Discord though.
It's Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then. Okay. Where was I? So yeah. I have a full-time job now.
Mm.
I have started Twitch, and it really evolved. Yeah, for the short time on my one, it really evolved great for me. As I said, the community is great, and the feedback from the community is overwhelming. And now I'm in this PUT situation for like 2 or 3 months.
Mm.
I wanted to put all my time and effort on Twitch on building up something, but I still have the responsibilities for my job, where my money came from. And it's not that little money.
Mm.
And it's like, I told my psychologist, this month I got my I don't know the English word, Tantieme, Bonifikationen.
Your bonus, basically, a premium.
My bonus. And I said to myself, it's the shittiest moment for that to happen.
Mm.
I was so close to decide to maybe quit my job to go with everything else. And now the devil comes around the corner with this money check. Says, here, guy, look at that. Do you really want to quit that? Do you really? No, just sign here with your blood, and we can make this happen forever. And it's like, oh fuck, do you really want to quit that? It's like 1 month later would be great, because I was so close. And now I'm again arguing with myself. It's not even that my parents are saying don't do that. It's my inner parent.
Yeah, true.
That says, oh, you have to be careful. No,
I 100% get that.
And it's really hard. And this is the situation I'm in right now. And it makes you really unhappy, because you are driving, in German you would say zweigleisig.
Yeah.
On two rail ways.
You're doing two things at the same time, basically.
Yeah, or dancing at 2 marriages at the same time. It's really funny if you translate a German sentence like that one-to-one into English.
Yeah.
And I'm really dealing with it right now. That's the situation I'm in right now. And sometimes also Twitch, and when I'm streaming, is some kind of not thinking about it, just doing what you do, what you love, and what you like to do, and waiting for Monday to start. And yeah, so I mean, it's nearly the same situation maybe you were in for like 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, roughly. But I was like I struggled a lot with the decision to quit, actually. Like it took me a while, because I also, like, at the same time had a new opportunity at my job, do something completely different. There was like an opportunity and things, and then like things happened at the company that made me do the final decision then. But I don't want to go too much into detail on that live. I can do in private talk, though.
No, everything's fine.
And that basically made the decision easier for me, because like also I monitored myself. I monitored how hard I was struggling, how shitty it made me feel, like, to think about this whole thing, and then I was like, I could just leave and not think about that ever again. Why not do that? So I don't know, maybe it was a bit of just like trying to escape the whole thing too.
Okay. And afterwards, did it make you feel better, or?
Yeah, I felt great. Honestly, I still feel great. I still, like, even if things don't work out and I realize in half a year that all that I tried was a bit of a shit idea, and I go for my plan B,
you tried it.
I would still say it was the better decision, because after all, I wasn't happy. I'm more happy now, and like, why is that wrong? Like, I'd rather be poor and happy than rich and burned out.
Oh.
That's my thing on it.
There's so much things in my head right now happening. Yeah, I think it's nearly the same situation I'm in right now, because I also have the UX UI part in IT is like they are searching for people, like, I don't know, it's like every week I get a new opportunity to show up at a new position.
Yeah.
I also saw a UX UI position, nearly the same position I had a year ago, where I was leading a team at Crytek for Hunt Showdown. They're searching a UX UI leader for Hunt Showdown at Crytek. And I said, "Oh man, come on, it's so tough." So yeah, I really don't know what to do right now. It's like like fighting with the devil for about your soul, or I don't know. I don't get the right picture right now. But I think on the long run, it will go that way, that I will try to realize myself. And plan B, as you mentioned, would also be for me. I think it sounds like, how do you call it, eingebildet. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, so, but we still need to translate it. Let me look it up real. Conceited, cocky, big-headed.
Cocky, perfect word. It seems to be cocky, but I will get a job if I want one.
Yeah.
Even though if I leave this industry for half year, for 1 year.
Yeah.
Because I was working in this industry for 18 years right now, in nearly every positioning, from project leader to UX UI lead, and this credits I earned the last 18 years will not get lost in a half year or 1 year.
I think that is a privilege here, and I know I also have the same privilege of just being basically a trained professional in a field that has a very low amount of trained professionals available. Same for you, and that's a privilege, and I'm very thankful of that privilege, because I know there's a lot of people that don't have it, that actually need to struggle to find a job, that cannot take the decision to go away for a year and come back and still have like all the same job offers going for them.
I also have to think now, and that's new for me, I have to think about my age.
Yeah.
Because now I'm 38 years old. I will turn 39 this year, and next year 40. And it's also new for me, because in some years my age will matter when I think about to get a new job. Until now, this was never an issue.
Yeah.
And this is also something I try to figure out and to handle, because this is also totally new for me. The last years, I said, okay, never mind. If I lose this job, I will get a new one.
Yeah.
But if I quit now, and maybe it takes me 2 years or 3 years to realize that it not worked out.
Yeah.
Then I'm over 40, and maybe then, not because of my my knowledge, but maybe because of my age, it's difficult for me to get a job, because maybe there comes somebody around the corner who is 30 and nearly has the same knowledge and costs the half.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's also some kind of stuff I think about, and yeah, a lot of more things.
True. Did you ever do the list? Like, did your psychologist ever tell you to do the list of things you enjoy and things you don't enjoy?
If you give me I mean, in real life, I have it right now.
Okay,
and the other, it's empty. I've got two lists.
Okay.
The one is the typical pro-con list.
Yeah.
And the other one, it's called. We'll have next week. We'll have this meeting. It's called the Grübeltermin, the think about meeting.
Yeah.
With 4 or 5 questions on it. So those questions, I think it's those typical questions. What do you love? What do you want to do? What could happen in the worst way when it happens? Or what's the worst thing that could happen when you go that way? What you could do then, or what you will do then if this happens? And what is the best thing that could happen?
Yeah.
And most of the time, those questions are really simple, because the worst thing, when you write it down, is never that worst as before when you think about it. It feels sometimes it's like when you have hard decisions to make and you only think about those decisions, it feels like cutting off an arm.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start really think about it and write it down, the worst things that could happen is not that bad.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I will stand there and I will, for example, our 2 things. If I quit my job, the worst thing that could happen is in 6 months, I could realize, okay, it doesn't work out.
Mm.
So I get a job again. Okay, that's it. And then I'm in another job in another company. Maybe this company is not that good as my company is right now, but then I get another job. It's also okay.
Mm.
And that's the worst situation that could happen. Nothing else could happen, because everything is saved. I get money from the I don't know the English word for Arbeitsamt.
Well, let's just say Social Security.
Social Security, and so on. So I think it's a really good method to figure out what could really happen to you. And most of the time, things could happen to you are not that bad.
Yeah,
it's only in your head.
It is. And there's like a lot of like. The thing is, there's a couple of other options available if you actually trying to start a startup. And for example, if you could think about like quitting your job, not only starting Twitch, but also starting a startup about like teaching people about UX design, for example. That might be something that has a demand. And then you can also like go to the Social Security agency and tell them, hey, I'm starting a startup. Can I get some extra money for that? And they might do that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Because my girlfriend is also trying to starting a own business.
Yeah.
Also coaching.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are some traps, because the German system is good, but really, really confusing sometimes.
It is, definitely.
So it's everything in Germany.
Yeah.
Nearly. But yeah, the system works really good for you if you know how to handle it and you know how to work with it. There are a lot of opportunities to get free money. Let me say it like that. To use this money to realize your dreams. Yeah. It's not free because we paid for it. Like I paid for it. Like free is the wrong word, because we only get it
because we paid earlier.
Yeah, we paid for it, the last 18 years for it to have this possibility.
True. So it's like an insurance basically.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of things in my head right now, because everything you said make me think again about my situation, and it's like it's only a coin flip sometimes. Like it feels like a really, really big decision to make, but the coin flip is the wrong word, but it's only a second, yes or no.
Yeah, true.
And I think that makes it so difficult sometimes.
I mean, like I can also go over the negative sides of that decision, right? It's not only positive after all, Because there was times where I was like having existential dread of, okay, I will never make money again, and fucking hell, how do I pay my food, and I'm not getting money next month, and what do I do now, and oh god, everything is terrible, and then I looked at my savings, because I have this. People would probably say even it's a frugal lifestyle. Like I'm literally my rent is very, very low. I pay like 150 euros a month for food, and that's it. Right, and that obviously the health insurance. So I looked at like my bank account and was like, okay, I can endure this for quite some time, just because I have this frugal lifestyle.
Okay.
And that kind of gave me some security back. But like this feeling of lying in your bed and realizing, fuck, it didn't work. It didn't work so far. Why should it work tomorrow? Why should it work anytime soon? And then you like text a million companies and no one writes back for like the things that you have to offer as like a counselor or as a lecturer. That's like a fucking horrible feeling. And it also like it was part of this journey.
Yep. And this is the part where Twitch helped me a lot, because I also had this. I had a lot of it's not so private, so I can tell, but sometimes I don't know, imposter syndrome.
Imposter, yeah, when I feel you.
I at work, every time I had the situation, I think, okay, in the next moment they will see that you can do nothing, that you're not able to. It's not because I learned nothing. It's just I don't know if you can explain it to the community, the imposter syndrome, who doesn't know it. But it's like, healing, you're not able to do the things people want you to do when they pay for it, and it's only a psychological phenomenon.
Yeah, it is.
When people are under high pressure and have high responsibilities. I'm not sure if that's right, but I think it's that way, or.
Okay, so imposter syndrome usually is happening with highly trained professionals that somehow get the feeling that they don't know what, or they have no idea what they're doing, and people are paying them wrong money, and at some point they will find out that they have actually no idea what they're doing. And funny enough, working in a company kind of cured my imposter syndrome completely, because I realized no one knows what they're doing, and everyone's just improvising. And that made me feel a lot more comfy about my own skill set.
So for me, it's the other way around, because I'm working in a company right now with some really good educated people. Some of them are really, really genius. And we were also hiring in the last 2 or 3 years some new people. So it's maybe it's strange to say when you work in an insurance company that most of the people are really, really high educated, because a lot of people don't know how big the marketing part and the UX part in our insurance company is. Because from the outside, it looks like the old big ship. Yeah. And on the inside, there are really a lot of cool people, and they're working on really great ideas. And so that's the reason why I have this sometime when you look around and everywhere you look at there are great people with high knowledge, and it's really, really tough sometimes. But what I wanted to say is, Twitch worked out for me that well, because Twitch was some kind of proof of concept for me, that I'm able to realize something on my own, which works out. And that's the reason why I'm struggling that hard right now. I was not struggling that hard right now in December. In December, I thought, okay, it's some kind of depression. I have to work on it, and I will get out of it. Maybe I realize myself and so on. And I was also talking to my coach. There's this Twitch thing, and I wanted to start it. I don't know where I will get, and we will see.
Yeah.
And now we're sitting here, talking about coping and life crisis and everything in English, and we're making a podcast together. And I think it's only 4 months ago that I started Twitch, and I said, okay, where will I get when I keep on going like this? And the imposter syndrome gets smaller and smaller, because everything you see is realized by myself. Not the podcast, it's your podcast, but the thing that I get on this point, the thing that I'm able to use OBS, everything around it, because it's not only turning on your cam and let's go.
Yeah, true.
You know that. And this really helped me to handle this syndrome for me, because to realize, okay, maybe you're able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have the issue, because now I'm starting believing in myself. And that's a struggle.
Yeah, I get that. 100%. I think another streamer, like a bigger streamer, said there once that if you like want to be a streamer, the streaming itself is the bare minimum. There's like so many things happening around it that people usually don't realize as a viewer, or maybe even like as for some streamers. There's like a lot of things going on aside from streaming. It's like creating new projects, drafting new ideas, making videos, like making all that happen. It actually is like it takes some time too, and it also takes some energy and creativity and all that.
Yeah, definitely. It's as I said, it's Twitch is the starting point for a lot of people, I think.
True.
And when you see videos like it's not possible to live from Twitch, yeah, it's nearly not possible. If you only focus on Twitch and only focus on the money you get out of Twitch, it's nearly impossible.
Mm.
But if you start looking around Twitch and the possibilities around Twitch and the opportunities you get while you are on Twitch, because you meet new people and get in contact with other characters and they have new ideas and you get together and network, then it is possible.
Yeah.
So Twitch is the starting point, and the whole cosmos around it is so full of creativity. And I mean, it's sometimes when I'm on YouTube and I'm looking at videos, and for most of the people, it's only, for example, it's only a Hunt Showdown video on YouTube.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not sure if it's okay if I say another streamer name.
Sure.
But everybody knows Sigismund.
Yeah.
And some of people say, okay, I don't like him because he's crouching around the whole time. I don't know. But he built up, in my opinion, in between Hunt Showdown, he built up some kind of empire.
Yeah.
And everybody who starts playing Hunt Showdown knows him. Because he
at least every German.
Yeah, at least every German. Yeah, for sure. In the US, there are some other streamers that are big in that business, like Huge or so.
Yeah.
But every one of them created a whole cosmos around the person, around the personal brand they are. And for most of the people, it's just a Hunt Showdown clip, like 5-10 minutes. But when you look at it like somebody who tries to make a video with the same quality, you see how much work is in there. And how much creativity.
True.
Cutting those scenes, the off voice, making some jokes in between, and so on, so that it's entertaining. And this has nothing to do with Twitch. It's like a whole new cosmos of making videos.
I mean, to be fair, Sigismund started on YouTube. He's like he always was like a kind of big YouTuber for some time with David Hein together. Mm. Like he's one of the old, how do I say it without sounding weird?
Old bunnies.
It's the old guard, basically, the old guard of German YouTube. And I was really surprised to find him in Hunt Showdown again. Because I
switched from Battlefield.
Yeah, I kind of like I found him, I don't know, 10 years ago, and then I was like, oh, dude, I know this guy. That's surprising. Hello there.
Yeah, and he's also the he also shows you that age doesn't matter.
True, especially in the streaming business, it doesn't.
Yeah. And sometimes when you start streaming, I mean, I name myself like the streaming grandfather in Hunt sometimes, you know that, and he shows up like, I know he's like over 40, I think, and he really produces still cool videos, and he has a big community, and he's also proof of age doesn't matter. If you make good content and entertaining the people, age doesn't matter.
I mean, we have a couple older content creators. I don't mean it in a demeaning way to say older, but I somehow have to name it. Like if you think of the other like big German content creator Gronk, he's not exactly 18 either.
Yeah, that's true. Gray bearded man. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea how old he is, to be fair. I think somewhere above 40, definitely.
I will also like nearly my age, or maybe a
I
little
would
bit
say older, but yeah.
older, or maybe more lived a little bit more.
So yeah,
So,
I
but
don't
yeah,
think age should ever stop you from doing the things that you love.
but but age is one of the main topics in a society. I mean, look on Instagram. Everywhere you go, age matters. I was talking about age a few minutes ago when I said
In
I
the
don't
job
know,
world,
maybe
yes, obviously.
yeah, everywhere age matters.
True. However, I think there is also a shift happening there. It's a slow shift,
It
but
is, yeah.
it is happening. Like people say 30 is the new 20, 40 is the new 30. Like that's been sentences for a while, but it is also kind of true.
Yeah, definitely. My grandfather always said, I don't know how to translate in English. Maybe you can translate it, or maybe I get translated it. There is no, es gibt keine Beschleunigung für Erfahrung. Also es gibt keine Lebenserfahrung.
There's no quick way to experience, I would say.
Yeah,
like
for life experience.
Yeah, there's no quick way for life experience. You need to gather it, literally the old-fashioned way by doing it.
Yeah, by just living.
Yeah.
There's no way that a 25-year-old boy, let me say it like that, got the same knowledge as a 50-year-old man who had his whole life living and doing stuff. There is no possibility that they have the same experiences and the same knowledge. And I think this is something that also the industries realize that sometimes it's better to maybe pay a little bit more for somebody who is more experienced in life, in work, and what he's doing, than to pay less. And because even if you pay less, you have to transfer the knowledge to the new person you get in your company. Most of the people forget that it's not a self-running.
I would agree.
It's also, and because I think until now, age is still a topic, and as you said, it's a slow process. And I think it will take like 1 or 2 more generations. And I would guess that age doesn't matter anymore, and only experiences and knowledge matters.
I don't think it will ever be like that. There will always be a market for I don't know. The most young people out there, but also like especially on Twitch, especially in the streaming world, I came to realize that a lot of the streamers that are really big are a lot older than I thought they would be.
True.
I mean, there's obviously the youngsters around that just, I don't know, got there at the age of like 19, 20, 21, something like that. But many streamers that I found during my time on Twitch are a lot older than I thought they would be.
The fun part is, and that's also something that I didn't realize before I started streaming.
Yeah.
Everything I learned from my job, project management, UX, UI knowledge, knowledge how to manage things, knowledge how to network with people, all of this stuff made a huge difference for me while I starting Twitch.
True.
Because for me, it was like, okay, I'm starting a new project. And how do I get into that? Maybe I use the methods I learned 18 years. And maybe this is also the reason when somebody who's older and has a lot of job experience get into it faster than somebody who's maybe very young, got the IT knowledge, but has no clue how to deal with people.
Maybe, yeah.
And different characters, because on Twitch there are a whole bunch of fucking different characters.
True.
And sometimes you think, oh, this dude is really cool, I want to play with him. And then you're on the stream together with him and you think, oh my God, 2 more hours. I don't know what I do right now. And then the job Mario enters the game. And then I try to handle like I would handle a difficult meeting with a difficult person.
I luckily never was in the position that I played with someone like with voice chat where I was like, oh shit, dude, that didn't go the way I planned it. I luckily never had that.
I already got it 2 or 3 times right now.
Oh shit. But it also is because I rarely play with someone with voice on stream. Like that happened. Like since I started playing Hunt, it happened more. Okay. But like in DBD, there was like 5 times in the past year where I had someone in my Discord.
Why? But I think this is for me, this is the most interesting part of Twitch and streaming, to get to know other people, to talk to them, to
True, but I like to do it through chat. Like the moment I have someone on Discord, I have less mental capacity for chat. And
that's true.
I want to have that full mental capacity for chat. And this is like, there's no right or wrong here. This is a decision you have to make, or that you're choosing to make. Do you want to like mostly interact with chat, or do you want to have it more podcast style, people listening to you while you talk with someone else in Discord?
That's true.
It's a question of style, and I always was leaning on the style of, I want to be like 100% focused on chat and have no one in the Discord, rather like just talk to myself. But it's also harder at times to do so, to be like the sole entertainer. And also sometimes it's harder to even react to chat when you have like when you're in a trio or a duo and you talk all the time with them.
It's really, I know that. I got a lot of situations where I was a duo or trio and playing Hunt, and there were a lot of people in chat, and it was really hard for me on one side to play the trio. They were talking to me, and sometimes I muted myself when they were talking the whole time, and I had nothing to say. I also muted them for the chat, so that I was possible to talk to the chat. And on the other hand, if there was a lot of conversations in the chat, it was really hard for me to follow them while I was playing.
Exactly.
But I also like the fact that the conversation with other people while you're playing Hunt Showdown brings up topics which you can discuss with the chat.
Absolutely.
So it's like some kind of, as you said, there is no right or wrong. And I'm also trying to find out which way I like more. Until now, most of the time, I play on Showdown when I'm together with other people. I think the next 2, 3, 4 weeks I will try something new, because I was also interested. Okay, what would happen if I just play with randoms?
Yeah,
and as you do, and have the possibility to focus on chat more.
Absolutely. It is a whole different beast, because you oftentimes will find yourself talking to yourself. And then you like it also creates a new kind of anxiety, the whole what if no one listens anxiety. And that's different when you have people in voice, and that sometimes makes it a lot easier for you.
Definitely the pressure is lower, because it's your own speed. When sometimes you have situations in game where the other 2 characters get tilted, maybe, or they would like to stop playing, but they stay because of the stream. And it's okay for me. As I said, 18 years of business knowledge, and I know to handle those situations. But it costs energy to keep up the mood. And to still try to entertain the people and say, oh, come on, next round, let's go, and this time we will get better. It's sometimes it's hard to handle that, and maybe playing sometimes with randoms is like a little bit more relaxing.
It is a really weird and interesting thing to do, actually, playing with randoms. And also, like, I do have a very, very bad poker face. Like, this is one of my great weaknesses. My poker face is fucking horrific.
Me too.
Like, the moment I get annoyed, you can tell. You can tell by my voice, you can tell by my face, and I cannot fucking hide it. And
I've got the same problem.
So yeah, it is sometimes it is rough in that manner.
Yeah, it's definitely, because I normally don't get till. I mean, it's like I'm really relaxed and relaxed person, but sometimes my chat really recognizes them very fast, especially my mods. They can say it in a second when they see my face turning, like, okay, now he gets angry, or now he's trying to avoid to scream or something like that, or he looks really tired from that discussion and really wants to quit. And sometimes they write it down in your chat. So, everything's fine, Mario? Yeah. Because I'm like, And sometimes that's also a thing which happens to you more or less when you start streaming and streaming for a longer time. You forget the camera. At the beginning, it was really an issue for me with streaming with a camera, and I was really thinking about with camera or no camera, and I thought, okay, I like streams where I can see the streamer because it's more personal. So I decided to go with the camera, and at the beginning it was some kind of hard because you're thinking about the camera the whole time, how I'm sitting and is my hair fine and so on. And yeah, after around about 4 months now, I don't care anymore. Yeah. So I'm also eating in front of the camera. I don't care if people don't like it, just skip.
I got used to the camera very fast, and sometimes when I see myself in the camera, I'm like, oh fucking hell, how the hell do I look today? It's really funny. I just like get surprised by my own face.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can me too. We could make a whole video just out of our face expressions while playing Hunt.
True.
Like that. It's like looking around, or even though if you're in a shooting situation, everybody knows the old Game Boy generation, like this.
Yeah, that's so. I just talked about that with a friend the other night. Like we were watching this? Like I was seeing a TikTok video and someone engaged with melee and people shooting at them. They were like, they dodged the bullets with their head. It's so cute. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like I also made a clip from a streaming colleague because he was playing against trios and was fighting them, and the whole control was over his head, shooting, movement, jumping. It was like like this. I made a clip out of it with the title "Head Controlling and Evolved" or invented, and so funny. So funny.
It was also the same thing in Dead by Daylight. Each time I tried to get like a hit that was really far away, I leaned forward, like physically trying to still get there, but it wasn't. It's still like it doesn't help, sadly.
This happens in Hunt when I'm throwing grenades. It's like when you're throwing it, like
leaning
pushing
forward.
It a bit. Yeah, it's like come on, get there.
Yeah. Absolutely. Honestly, that's also a fun thing you can do from time to time. Like at one evening, I decided to go through different DBD streams, made screenshots of every face there, and then I had like a collage. And if these people if it was before the GDPR or like the thing, I would have probably made a compilation for YouTube, like Faces of DBD, because everyone looked completely, I don't know, frustrated, sad, angry. Like none of them looked like they're actually enjoying their time there.
Yeah, okay. Sad.
It is, yeah, that's the state of DBD, sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's the perfect Überleitung.
Conversion?
Conversion? Translation? I don't know.
Transition.
Transition. The perfect bridge building.
Yeah.
Maybe for going for some hunt rounds, or?
All right. So let's call it a day. Maybe let's have like one. Because we also had the topic of coping. Like what would you just like one little grasp of like what do you do if you need to cope with bad feelings, or what is the thing that helps best for you? And please tell me it's not alcohol.
No. It's definitely not alcohol. In the past, I realized when I'm drinking alcohol, it's like the bad emotions getting better. It's like when you're drinking alcohol and when you're in a good mood, the good emotions getting better. So only drink alcohol when you feel good. That's one tip. The last half year, I changed a lot in my life. Some of those things I maybe need to start again. I started I try to push it forward and do it every day. Sometimes I quit it, so it's not that good. But it doesn't matter. Meditation. I started every morning with a small meditation, and taking my time. So when I wake up, I have some kind of a procedure. Waking up. Sometimes my girlfriend makes me my coffee, so that's really kind. and I go showering. The showering part is important for me because I started to make some breath exercises in the shower.
Okay.
Like the Iceman.
I'm not
the
familiar with
Iceman?
that. No.
It's I forgot his real name. I only know him as the Iceman. The Iceman is give me 1 second. I will send it afterwards to you. Everybody knows the Iceman. He did, what did he? It was possible for him to stay in an ice cold water for like 2 or 3 hours, without any body reaction.
Okay.
So heart pressure was the same, blood pressure was the same, and it's all about his mental health and breath exercises.
Okay.
And he's able to teach this everybody. He says he's not a guru. Everybody can do it, and you will get a better life because your brain and your mental health, you have the possibility, if your brain and your mental health is healthy, you have the full control of your body and your body functions.
Yeah.
And this breath exercise is from him. So I start this breath exercise, some kind of hyperventilation.
Yeah.
And I shower warm just to get myself ready. And then I turn the water totally cold.
Okay.
The coldest I can get out of my Wasserhahn
Your shower.
And then I start this breath exercise and showering for like 3 or 4 more minutes. This gets me a kick into the day. Afterwards, I get my coffee, I get to my place. I do not turn on any electronic device and just start meditation or just closing my eyes and try to think about nothing. The best way to do this is to try to look at the inner side of your eyes. This works out really well for me because then you focus on the try to look. It's black, but then you lost all your thoughts you have maybe about the day, the pressure you will have, the meetings, etc. And
Did
then
you just spoiler what eyes look in the inside?
And then you automatically get in a really, really slow mood and slow breathing, and there you want to get for like 5 or 10 minutes. And then I start my day. And the other part I changed is I started sports. If you mentally want to change something, get in a better mood, and get out of depressions, sports and getting out of the flat, even it's just for a small walk, is so fucking important.
True.
It's like most of the time I hear people saying like, "Oh, I don't feel like getting out of the flat. I don't feel like doing sports. It's so it costs me so much energy, and I don't have it." And I said, "No, it costs you energy in the first, but you get the energy back 2 or 3 more times.
True.
Just do it." And even if you start only by 10 minutes, and there are a lot of books where you can find out how to handle it, how to implement behaviors in your life. There's a lot of literature about it, and even though I think the I don't get the book title. I was sent it afterwards. To start to implement a behavior in your life, start with the smallest amount of effort. So maybe if you just want to go for a walk, don't figure out, okay, I have to go for a walk. I have to get my shoes on, my clothes. I have to change it. I have to go outside 10 minutes, then get back, take a shower, and so on. Just say to yourself, every time I woke up and I get my clothes on, I just put my walking shoes on. And then I get out of the flat. And if I don't want to walk, I get back. And I'm doing the same stuff again on the next day. And there will come the point where you say, "Oh, come, I got the walking shoes on, now I go to walk."
Yeah.
This point will come. And then you take a walk. And don't walk for half an hour, just walk for 5 minutes. Don't put the too much energy, or no, don't put the target too high. Just start with a small target. And your brain automatically will get there that you push the target a little bit higher every day. That's, for me, this is the secret to start everything in life. I also started streaming with a small setup. I said, okay, let's start with small, just camera and game, let's go. And we will see where we get. And then, okay, maybe I can add there something, and I can add there something, and then it grows. And this is how I handle depressions because it gets you out of it, and this is how I try to cope problems. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So for me, also, I have like two things I know that work. Like meditation, it's definitely a big part. Meditation, like the great thing about meditation is that you don't need to believe that it works. It will work.
Yeah.
Because
That's true.
Like it's not it has a spiritual side to it, but it's not important. It's not important that you believe in karma, the third eye, and chakra, and all that kind of yada yada. After all, meditation is just taking your time for introspection, taking your time to get to know yourself, get to a calm point inside yourself, and that works without any form of belief. So you having meditation readily available as a tool, and it is damn simple because all you need is literally like some place to sit. I guess so you can also do it standing, but it's not necessary. But yeah, meditation is a great tool to have at hand, and there's various techniques that you can utilize. There's great tutorials on YouTube. For example, also I think I mentioned it in the last podcast I had with you two with the Healthy Gamer. Healthy Gamer project of Dr. Alok Kanoja. He also has taught like many meditation techniques to people, and they're usually very, very simple.
Yeah.
So that's a great thing. And also what's also very, very useful for me when I realize that I get in a really like I would say depressive mood is trying to make contact. Like I need to talk to people. Doesn't matter if it's just Discord, if it's like someone around, if I'm calling someone. I need to get to know people. I need to talk to people to get out of that. And like most of the times, they don't even notice that I'm in that dark spot at the moment. It's just like hearing someone talk to me will usually get me out, at least for a bit.
Yeah, definitely. It's also good advice. There's nothing wrong in getting help.
Absolutely.
So there are offers to get help, and I also used them in the past when I had my really hard, tough times. I told you about the phone, the help phone from my company, where I really fast got in contact with a psychologist, and it helped me a lot. It was like 24 hours later after I found out, okay, maybe I need help. And I think that's also something where the society has changed, that there's nothing wrong in getting help.
Absolutely.
It's not possible to deal out everything by yourself.
True.
Sometimes you need help, and it's totally fine. And it's also totally fine not to feel good every time. It's also like a Twitch phenomena, I think, when you go into a chat and, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm great. And you? Oh, I'm also great.
True.
It's totally fine to say, no, I'm not fine. I have some issues to deal with, but it's okay, I get there. Sometimes this also helps, just to be honest to yourself and say, okay, for the moment, I'm not fine. It will get better in 1 or 2 weeks. I know that because I know how to handle it. But in the moment, I'm not fine. And I don't lie to myself by saying to anybody else, oh, I'm fine, thanks.
Absolutely. Then we have a remark from Luke here. Says, I heard about a method where you have to do something for about 6 weeks to make it a habit, not even considering the time, like even 5 minutes is fine. I think that's very close to the thing that you mentioned.
Yeah, it's like this 1 minute method or so. I forgot about the title of the book. There's a really popular book where it's exactly that. It's like think about the smallest target to get for you to reach, like with the shoes. If you want to go out, just put on your shoes. If you want to start meditating, don't think about meditating 50 minutes and looking through 50 videos. Just sit down for 5 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes, as long as you prefer, and close your eyes. And if you like it, keep on going. It's like doing sports. Don't start. He said in the book, it says, if you want to start sports at home, everybody is writing down a sports plan, healthy food plan. And it's like the border to get over is so high. and you will never manage to get over it because you were thinking about, oh, I will never make out 30 minutes every morning by sports. So just start with, I don't know, what's the English word? Liegestütze?
Push-ups. That's how I did it, by the way, too.
Just start with one push-up every morning. And nobody will just do one push-up. That's the fun part of this method.
You should have seen me 5 years ago. I was barely able to do one, though.
Yeah, but what I mean is, it feels strange to just do one push-up when you're already on the floor.
Sure.
Then you try a second and a third one.
Yeah.
And that's the effect the method is about. The target is not to do 50 push-ups. The target is one push-up.
Yeah.
And the rest is happening in your head.
True.
And by time, and it takes time, you will easily get there to do sports every morning without even recognizing it.
All right, I'm glad we could finish on a very, I think, positive takeaway for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's a good end of the show. So please tell everyone where people can keep up with you and what you do in the internet, and if you want to also outside the internet, but I think mainly.
I think the best way to get in contact with me is over my Twitch account, as you already mentioned, over my video screen. And I'm working on some stuff on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, but I think I will publish that when the time is ready for it. Until now, there are only some clips on it, but I think there's a lot of stuff to come. I have a lot of ideas.
Beautiful.
And also some healthy stuff for healthy food for gamers. We will see.
I would love to do like a cooking session or something at some point. I would love to do a cooking session, but sadly my kitchen is not presentable. It's just a very, very old house with a very old kitchen, and even if it's clean, it doesn't look very good.
There's the possibility to rent a kitchen. In every bigger town, you can rent kitchens for events and so on.
Are we planning a cooking stream together now?
Why not? I mean, we're not living that far.
It's true. It could be a fun project.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe we take this idea with us to talk about off stream.
Exactly.
But yeah, maybe.
Perfect. So all the links will be found in the show notes as usual. Thank you so much for being here. It was a great talk, I feel. And till next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on episode 5 of Mental Perspectives. I certainly did enjoy the talk, and I hope you did too. It would greatly help me if you could rate this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you hear it. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.